What's up? Welcome everybody. It's RJ of the Nerdy Brew here on this channel where we talk TV, movies, and everything in between. All while drinking a cup of coffee. Now, if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider like, subscribing, and hit that notification bell, and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, we just catching a vibe right now. Kicking back on this Saturday. I got my coffee. I'm not drinking anything special. I'm drinking some a dark roast espresso. The Bear season 2, it premiered this past week on Hulu, but I did put it as my top 10 shows of 2022 was The Bear. I loved it. I don't remember what order of the list that I put it in, but it definitely made my top 10 of 2022 shows of last year. And certain things I said wrong. Now I know. I said it was in New York in that particular video. They're in Chicago. The Bears, Chicago, the Bears. Yeah, with a nice hot dog. The Bears. The thing about the Bear. I'm about to talk some TV with y'all. It's gonna be a while too. All right, so the Bear. It's about this young man named Carmine. Carmine, I can't pronounce their last name, but it means bear. But Carmine is a phenom in the culinary community. He was like LeBron James in his high school years, right? In his college years, in say college, but everybody was prospecting LeBron James in high school.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
He was like LeBron James in the culinary world, and he went to this prestigious culinary institute. And the thing is, the pressure of his expectation, or the expectations that were put upon him, he suffers with anxiety. He suffers with anxiety, and just those expectations and being in that world was just so heavy for him. And then along with that, his brother died. His brother died, and he inherited their restaurant called The Beef. And with him inheriting the restaurant, The Beef, he's just trying to run it. And it's all these characters who are trying to get along with the new situation with Carmine running this new establishment. So that's pretty much in season 1, introducing the characters and all the different fluctuations that they have to go through. Now, season 2 is building on legacy and building on the characters and their dynamics. We learn each individual growth or trauma that the characters are going through in season 2, and they are trying to revamp and remodel the restaurant. And that's the biggest hurdle and the hardship within season 2.
Order! It's a facelift, it's not a gut.
Bear, it is a facelift and a gut.
He's not wrong, Jeff. Hey, how's my budget looking?
Great.
Not good.
Shitty.
All right, fuck this. Watch The Bear, all right? We have equipment that works. That's a great start, everybody. 0. Then we have a deep clean, very deep clean and drywall insulation.
Fridge is still fucked up.
Fryer is fucked. The fryer is fucked. That's $5K right there. Fryer.
Shit fryer, and then another 10 for the correct fryer, and the oven is scary. That's another 10.
Okay, good. All right, so we got 20.
30.
30?
The oven.
Fuck me. Then we got the windows, the demo, the brick. That's 50K plus 20K. That is 70K. That's not bad.
80K.
Really? Fuck me, cousin.
And the thing about season 2 is I binged it last night. I finished around like 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, about 12 hours ago. And I was just like, at each episode, not each episode, but when it started with episode 6, the longest episode. So episode 6, all the way to episode 10, and each episode ended like a season finale. There was 10 episodes. I mean, I didn't know how many episodes there were this season period, but when it came to episode 6, it was the longest episode in the show, and I'll be like, yo, that makes a lot of sense. It was a flashback episode. It was an isolated episode. It was a holiday episode, and all the family was together for dinner, and with all the family being together for dinner, and it's all of these versatile and volatile characters. It's just like being in a powder keg, you know, and or nitroglycerin. And if you make the wrong move, these things spark together. It's a wrap. So that's pretty much what it was. It was pretty much pressure just building inside this one episode, and just Carmine being more observant. Carmine was there. He's the main character of the show, but to see the interactions and how his family is, he was more in the background observing like where his trauma and anxiety and PTSD came from. It's just him recognizing that. And so that was the longest episode, and with me observing and understanding it, and it was a very like fast paced, like sharp dialogue, great emotions, like all of that was done in that. And it just made me think how long it was. I was like, yo, this is a great finale. But then they had another episode after that. And another episode was finishing off things that they built upon to get to where they were trying to go. And that episode ended. And that episode ended on a high note. And I was like, no, interested for season 3. So the last couple episodes that ended were just very like powerful episodes. And there was a lot of like reconciliation and a lot of like acceptance and a lot of like conversations. The show, oh man, this is like one of the best shows on TV, man. I'm about to look up the guy's name right now. It's one of the best shows on TV right now. But Christopher Storer. Yo, this man is a genius. He looks like, I'm looking at his picture right now. He looks like he's related to a Culkin. Like he could be part of the Culkin family. So he ended up writing The Bear. So The Bear is his own thing. But yeah, he's the showrunner for The Bear. The writing is so authentic. The writing is such like natural conversations. Like it doesn't skip a beat. I guess those rehearsals for those actors are very tedious and methodical, because the way that they speak and the way that they talk and the way that they convey is just a really natural conversations within the show. And even though it's telling the story, the conversations build the story along to just make it go. Like along with the dialogue, the performances are just as equally as golden, to just make it convey in a way of authenticity, and not just authenticity but entertainment as well. It's just a beautiful show, and it's heavy. And one thing that really took me, like the start of the show, they're planning their remodeling for the restaurant, and it's just regular conversation of budgets. Richard is the manager, and Richard was the brother's best friend. And at the start of the show, he's like, yo, what is purpose? Like, he said that he read this book, and he was talking about the book, and inside the book, he said that there were some family members to the character, the main character in the book, that they all had different talents and they were all able to excel. But then the main character in the book, they disregarded him and sent him elsewhere. And Richard is like, yo, what? Like, I'm 45 years old. Like, what am I doing in this life? And am I just a waste of space inside the entire planet? So that's what, like, his start of the show is him thinking that. It's him trying to deal with that. And he has a whole arc. And the thing about the show is, with every individual the people that work in the restaurant, it's a sense of progression. There's this woman named Tina in the show. In season 1, she's a very old school Latina, and her way is her way, and she just knows what it is. And so these young people who are trying to set a way, trying to make a way, try to make things happen. She's kind of obstinate to it, but in season 1, she ends up acclimated and accustomed to the new dynamic. Her character growth, she has not reverted, but what they do is adding to her character growth, and she ends up taking some culinary classes, and she's already skilled as a chef within herself. So it's just another like layer that they built upon Tina, and she's like the mother hen of the restaurant. But yeah, there was a lot of good things that happened within the show about progression, and as I was saying, with all the characters within the show all had their own situations. There's this one character in the show, Marcus, and Marcus in the show is dealing with an outside factor at home, which is a big difficulty, but he also is removed out of the country to build on his craft as being a worker as well. And then there's also another personal dynamic that's within the restaurant that grows upon that as well. There is this young girl, Sydney, in the show. And Sydney, at the start of the show, in season 1, is a fan of cooking. She's a fan of the culinary world. She's been involved in that world, and she knows that Carmine is a phenom. She wants to be under his tutelage, but she's also very well adept in her world as well. And Carmine sees that in her, and their progression and their growth. He sees it. Yeah, he sees it in season 1, but it's them trying to learn how to deal with each other, and that still builds upon in season 2. And so yeah, all of these people bumping shoulders and rubbing together. And
Smaller fry scoops today, chef. Behind.
Not system.
What is this system?
Michael's system. Carmen, there's the girl.
Yeah, that's Sydney. She's helping us out today. Michael's system makes no sense. I'm saying something.
Marcus, I said something. You are my favorite bitch.
Oh, your English is getting tight, James. You kidnapping ship captain?
Your mom teach me doing sex.
Oh, that's not cool. I'm fucking with you. That's how you do it.
Hey, yo, Gary, you set up a compost for me today, chef?
After I do my thing in the place.
It's very clear. Thank you.
Behind. Hey, chef, is there like a family shelf or something?
Behind.
Sorry,
being friends and being family, all the hurdles that life throw at you. Very relatable and down-to-earth story. We all got crazy family members. We all got things that we don't want to deal with. We all got like trauma and hurt that sit upon us, and we all just trying to manage day-to-day life. And the show just, excels on that well, because sometimes you just got people who just don't believe in your passions or believe in your hobbies or whatever you have a goal of thinking on. You just got certain set of people who are not always trying to set up into that, they're like, what about plan B? And you're like, yo, my plan B is plan A, and it's the only plan. And they're happy for you for sure when everything works out. But, you got people who just got a practical mind and a practical eye who just wants the safe bet. And that's kind of like one of the major factors in some of the things that you can't, the progression is not having the restaurant fail. So they don't want the restaurant to fail, that I wanted to talk about. So The Bear, as I said, it's really authentic. Like it's wonderful television. I think it's top television that isn't a show about dragons or gangsters. Like, it's a great show. Like it has nothing to do with guns, it has nothing to do with violence, it has nothing to do with, obscure sex. Like, it has nothing to do with any of those things. It just definitely has just like great storytelling, and it has great relationships. Yeah, I just think it's definitely a highlight of great television. that's done well. And then they have different directors that come on the show. The work that the directors do, it's still stylistically the same for each show. They all keep the same tone, and they all bring out great performances for every person inside the bear. But I will say that they have deliberate placed camera, like still shots, and there's a lot of zooming in, so it builds on the anticipation and it builds on the tension of what the scene is. The show is mad good, bro. The show is mad good. As I said, I talked about it in my top 10 shows of 2022, and it's one of my best returner shows of 2023. So yeah, definitely I recommend watching The Bear. Everyone should watch The Bear.
Cottonmouth on top, kung fu, Bruce Lee chop, moon rocks, go Red Sox, tryna go far like Boondocks, headshot, blunt stay high, talking shit, gotta pull up on they block, you fraud, I'm Couchgod, know you got a tax like a state charge, safe house, safe house, safe house, safe house.